So, yo, what's up? My name is Jan Albert Bangkos from DC Pet Section 3-2 and welcome to another video. So, here we'll be diving on the case of Chavez B. Gonzalez, GR number 168338, February 15, 2008. Then, ayan, we have here the Francisco Chavez, who is the petitioner or the one who tends to amend with the court or siya yung nagrereklamo, and Gomez as the capacity of Secretary of Justice and National Telecommunications Commission. So ayun, welcome everyone. So in this video we'll be understanding freedom of speech, press rights, and the boundaries of government power in this video. We're going to explore in the in-case detail. We'll look at all the cases go through the facts, identify the core issues, analyze the Supreme Court ruling, and lastly finish it with the takeaways. So we'll not only learn about legal principles but how this case impacts our day-to-day lives basis, because we're on the digital era today. So ayun, and let's get back to the video. So on the video, let's talk about what this case is all about. First, let me show you what is the recording. So I'm gonna show you. I have here the recording.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Okay, ma'am. Mas mataas po siya, pero mag-compensate po sa lanaw yun.
So, will I still lead by more than 1 M?
More or less, it's not advantage, ma'am. Parang ganon din ang lalabas.
It will not be less than 1 M?
Pipilitin mo natin niya, pero as of the other day.
Hello guys,
Ma'am,
out UP. Pero lokal. Kasi iba-iba raw pinag-claim ng Commonwealth noon.
Sino ba atin doon?
Ay, naku, ang importante na hindi madama yung sa taas.
Hindi ho. Ako ang may hawak nun.
Kasi ang issue doon, sabi ng corruption, dahil nilokta nila yung recount, pero sabi naman yung issue doon, dapat doon na lang sa munisipyo.
Yun na ho. Okay na yun. Ako ang may hawak niyan.
So hindi na-accept ko yun sa taas, ha?
Hindi ho.
Kasi sabi na nila, kung may exclusive, baka susunod lang ito, lumandapan na naman daw doon, ha?
Hindi ho. Nasa akin mo yan.
Okay, sige guys.
Okay.
Naaalala mo pa ba?
So that's the recording on that part. So medyo fishy nga yung conversation ni dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo at yung head ng COMELEC noon. So let's talk about the overview of the case now. So the case is all about the boundaries of the government authority when it comes to regulating media and information. It brings up the important question: can the government prevent media from sharing information that may be obtained illegally? And if so, how do we balance that with the public right to be informed about the matter of significant public concern? So medyo mataas yung kaso natin dito kasi when it comes to this election yan, kung sino mauupo sa upuan ng presidente, syempre concern lahat ng Pilipino doon. So in this case began with the former Solicitor General Francisco Chavez, who challenged the action ng Justice Secretary Raul Gonzalez and the National Telecommunication Commission or UNTC. Chavez argued that this official went too far in threatening to sanction media organization for airing a set of record known as Hello Garci tape. So yung klinik ko kanina. This recording contained alleged conversation about the election manipulation between high-ranking government officials, including the President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and the Commission of Election official Virgilio Garciliano. So the main question here is that Is it ever justifiable that the government to prevent the media from broadcasting information that reveals potential corruption, misconduct at the highest level of power? So, or would do so infringe upon the freedom of press of speech that our democracy is supposed to uphold? So that is what the case is all about. But here we have here the quick overview and jurisdiction, proceed, speech. Oh, that's a little summary ng nakita ng sinabi doon. Then sneak peek nanalo dito si Chavez. Then what's the next part? Oh, the facts of the case. So let's read the facts of the case. So the case originates from the event of the occurred year after 2004 national and local elections on June 5, 2025. Press Secretary Ignacio Buña told the reporters that the opposition was planning to destabilize the administration by releasing the audio tape of a mobile phone conversation against the President of the Philippines and the high-ranking official of Commission on Elections. The conversation was audio tape, allegedly through wiretapping. Later in that Malacanang press briefing, Secretary Buña produced two versions of the tapes, supposedly complete version, and another one sliced or doctored or altered version, which suggests that the President had instructed officials to manipulate the election result in the President's favor. It seems that Secretary Buña admitted that the voice of President Arroyo subsequently made a retraction. So here, nakita ko kasi sa video na isa pang pinanood ko that Secretary Buña provides 2 CDs ng recording. CD siya. So, ayun yung ginamit nilang evidence dito. And then, on June 5, former Council deposed President Joseph Estrada, Attorney Alan Pagua, subsequently released authentic recording of the wiretap, including the tapes was purported conversation of the President, the First Gentleman, and the COMELEC Commissioner, and the late Senator Barbers. So, ayun din, meron din ni-release si Paggia by Attorney Estrada by Attorney Paggia. So, ayun din yung authentic recording. So, yun yung pinakinggan, wire splice video yung kanina. Or rather, yun yung sasabi nilang edited daw. Pero, yung authentic, hindi siya or wala siyang tawag dito, wala siyang publications kasi yung binigay nila sa media is yung lang, splice lang or yung kinat lang. So, on June 8, 2005, Respondents Department of DOJ Secretary Raul Gonzalez warned reporters who had copies of the CD and those who were broadcasting publishing its contents to be held under liable of anti-wiretapping law. Then the person included Buña, Paggia. He also started the person processing the airing tapes were committing offense, subject to arrest by anybody who have personal knowledge if the crime was committed or was being committed in their presence. So, on June 9, 2005, in another press briefing, Secretary Gonzalez ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to go after the media organization found to have caused the spread of playing the printing machines content of allegedly wiretaped conversation involving the President about picking the votes in 2004 national elections. Gonzalez said that he was going to start with the Inquirer7.net, also known as with the joint venture between the Philippine Daily Inquirer and the GMA7 television network. Because of this nature of the internet medium is available to disseminate the contents of the tape more widely, he then expressed the intention of inviting the editors of managers of Inquirer7 and GMA7 to probe supposedly declared, "I have asked the NBI to conduct a tactical interrogation of all consent." So on June 11, 2005, NTC issued the press release So I will not read you the press release, but it warns tawag dito, it warned their broadcast or willful instrumentation with revocation and cancellation of their license issued to the said companies. So the NCT will not hesitate after observing requirements of the process of full force publication of said circulars will be accompanying sanctions to airing radio, television stations and their owners and operators. So, ayan, NTC respects not to hinder the freedom of speech, but KBP must remember with high responsibility. So, nag-warning lang dito yung NTC natin. Then, ito, Petitioner Chavez filed petition under praying that the insurance of the writs of certiorari and prohibition of legal remedies to annul void proceedings on unlawful oppressive charges of by the respondent. So, ito yung petition ni Chavez na yung freedom of speech is parang sinasabi niya dito na yung recording na yun has the freedom for nullification of acts until the present rights of freedom of expression and freedom of speech and to the information on matters of public concern. So, medyo malaking public concern talaga yan kasi election yan. Significant relation information regarding the controversial tape conversation. So, ayan. Tas, yung respondents nila denied yung transgress ng petitioner. Then, among that argument, nag-validity. So, naglabas lang ng fair warning yung NTC sa mga sa mga broadcast media. Then, pati nga sa mga print media, yung mga publishing. Kasi may mga papers na na-produce. Like, wait, let me show you. Like, here. May mga papers na na-produce
Ba
dyan.
ang sikat
Yan,
na Hello Garci scandal? Ano nga ba ito?
So, ayun. Nagkaroon ng mga ng mga papers doon. So, hindi lang broadcast media yung na warning or nasabihan ng ating NTC. Or hindi lang talaga broadcast media yung naglabas noon. So, next up, what are the issues of the case? So, actually, maraming issue. But, let's bring it up with like tatlo lang. Kasi if we're gonna talk about issues, may mga sudden breaks nga sa cases. This is 1:15. So, wait. Ayan pa, meron dito. Here's the issues. Obstruction of speech, the limits of freedom of free speech. So, in focus. Pero, prior restraint, ito yung content theory ko. Press print media, broadcast media. So, pero ayan, let's talk about the four. But, let me have a brief summary. So, the first issue, based on what I've read, is the government's action warning from the Secretary Gonzales and the NTC memorandum about the unconstitutional prior restraint. As you can see, ba't ko inuna yan? Kasi ito yung nasa ito yung E4, yung prior consent. So, ayun yung pinakamalaking actions kasi na ginawa dito. So, under the 1935 Constitution, may four aspects yung freedom of press, freedom of prior restraint, freedom of punishment, subsecution of publication, freedom of access to information, and freedom of circulation. So, considering this, the petitioner has argued that the respondent press release continues a form of prior restraint, a closer continuity of this principle in order to self-specify the content as distinguished from content neutral regulation. So, ibig sabihin, wala silang pinapanigan dyan, neutral yan. Then, in other words, the government have the right to prevent media from broadcasting information because it was even published. Prior restraint is a sin major infringement on free speech because it censors information before the people have a chance to hear it and respond. So, ayun yung unang issue natin dito. So, as an application of jurisdiction, the parameters of this principle has been etched in case-to-case basis. Based talaga sa case yan, always been assessed by scrutinizing the government insurance or act against the circumstances they operate, determining the appropriate test with which to evaluate. So, ayan. Give dito yung meaning ng prior. Then, and non-continue incident speech merely controls time under defined standard. And content-based censorship. So, sasabi nila dito, content-based restriction and neural regulation, clear and present danger rules. So, ito yung mga given na terms based on the freedoms or the aspects of freedom of press. So, the next issue I'm gonna be talking about is whether it is legal to restrict the broadcast of the tapes or grounds of wiretapping law. This law is meant to protect privacy by making it illegal to intercept and disclose private communication without consent. The government argued that the law applied here suggested that the tape was allegedly obtained illegally, airing them could be subject to organizations to legal liability. So, where is this? Freedom of speech. That's not it. So, here. That's it. So, censorship. So, ayun, number 5 pala yan ulit. Pero dito, parang review siya ng cases sa US. Then, ayun, like, a review of the Philippine case broadcast will be dated of the conception of Bill of Rights. Then, yung sa Bill of Rights natin is, they are decided when further a substantial governmental interest or immediate test. So then the case showed two distinct features. First is difference between the treatment in the main regulatory on the broadcast are not imposed on traditional print, narrow to unprotected speech that are based on the compelling interest that also the constitutional protection such as national security or electoral process. Then second is the regulatory schemes of the broadcast media subjected to the court has held been clear and present danger test applies to the content-based restriction on the media without distinction of traditional print or broadcast media. So here says that yung adaptations na headlines or rather ng print media sa recording media. So, ayun daw. Singular. Hindi ito curtains. So, sa US yung ano na yan. However. So, government award. Saan ko nabasa? Ito yung writings or yung facts. So, ayan. Wait lang. Bumalik na tayo dito. Pero ito yung ano, parang transcript. Balik na tayo sa main topic. So, tapos na tayo sa, ay hindi, may isa pang issue pa pala. So, the third issue is balancing the freedom of expression with the concern of public order. Secretary Gonzales argued that airing the tapes could lead to public unrest, potentially destabilizing the country. Here, the court needed to consider whether the tape posed a clear and present danger, and that justified the government intervention. At the heart of this issue, in question when we continue to grapple, how do we balance the public right to know the laws that protect privacy and order, and if ever it is appropriate for the government to limit freedom of speech to protect stability. Well, it's based on if I'm gonna answer that question, how do we balance the public right to know the law that protects privacy and order? If you are a high-ranking person, assume that someone is always listening and your actions really matter. So, ayun, pero, in that side naman, you cannot use naman for some lower cases, you cannot use recordings, lalo na if it's not really concerned on higher cases like murder, arson, espionage, rebellion. You cannot use that. Pero in this court or in this ruling ng court, we can say that yung panduduga sa elections can be used against you. So, hindi siya kasali sa wiretapping law, pero ang decision kasi ng court dito is pwedeng gamitin yon. Ayun yung sinabi pa dito is they have the right on press release sa dulo. Then, sa pangalawang question, is it appropriate for the government to limit the freedom of speech to protect stability? Feeling ko nga ngayon sa atin, protected masyado yung yung freedom of speech. Like, confidential, puro halos lahat confidential ay di talaga nalalabas. So, ayun, pero in my case, the government should limit kasi you don't want your country on full chaos. Actually, there's a book here in effective leadership and others, and if it affects the stability or the peace of the country or even others, for example, on the countries in the Africa right now that sobrang chaos, bumagsak yung money value nila. So, at a extent point, I think na there should be a limit of freedom of speech. But, in other hand, if it is truly unlawful or truly hindi patas, like sobrang mali, I think there should be a clear borderline on, let's say, like if they're handling freedom of speech like that here, I think hindi. How do I say it in English? Pero pag, ayun, pag masyadong, masyadong unlawful or hindi makatao yung gawa, di makatao or hindi makabansa ang nangyayari. So, I think there should be a publications or postings or even postings sa ngayon kasi we're on the new age, and even print medias if only if it's not on that extent na magkakagulo-gulo lahat ng tao. So and then let's go back to the topic. What is the ruling of the court? So after examining the argument, the Supreme Court made the decision that had lasting impact on the press freedom, government accountability. So ito yung naging ruling ng court natin. So first, the Supreme Court ruled that the actions by Secretary Gonzales and NTC did indeed constitute to prior restraint and thus were unconstitutional. So ayun, nasabi ko na kanina. The court emphasized that the freedom of speech and freedom of press conversation of the democracy, censorship before publication is highly suspect as it deprives the public the opportunity to access and discuss important information. The court also determined that while the anti-taping law is valid, it should not be applied in such ways that restricts the press of freedom of matter on high public interest. The tapes, although controversial, were widely regarded as opposing potential government misconduct. This meant that even though they might have obtained illegally, the tapes serve a higher public interest that outweighed the concerns over how they are acquired. The public has a right of information that exposes possible corruptions by and wrongdoing by those in power. So, sa tingin ko, based on this, yung judge na yan na nag-rule says this. Pero, if we're talking about, hindi. Based on this pala rather, if there's murders, killings, or recordings, messages na nangyari within elections that you have proof on that, based on this case, or based on my analysis of this case, that screenshots, recordings, or videos, and even voice recordings can be used against you. Why? Because it's a matter of public interest. Even though, if it is publicated by the media, hindi. Or it's not have been publicated, it still serves a higher public interest because first of all, the people must know ano nangyari sa boto, totoo ba yung results or that, because it's possible na corruption yung nangyayari within that. So, in addition, the court addressed the concept of clear present danger as a standard that allows restrictions on speech if poses an immediate and serious threat to public order. The government have argued that airing tape could incite public unrest. However, the court found that this claim was unsustainable and there was no imminent threat that warranted such as actions on the media. This decision has a landmark because it underscored the government power to limit the freedom of speech is restricted. The press serves as a watchdog over government actions and has the right to know and discuss information, particularly when it concerns the government accountability. So, ayun. Then, lastly, my takeaways on this video. So, first, this case reaffirms the importance of freedom of press in a democratic society. The press has a critical role in informing the public and questioning the government actions. This case established that the press should not be afraid of government sanctions when reporting matters of public interest, especially those who matters involves potential corrupt or abuse of power. Second is highlighting the prior concerns between the constitutional by ruling against the government attempt to prevent the broadcast of the Hello Garcia. So the court sent the clear message that the censorship before publication is not allowed except the most extreme cases. That means that the government cannot silence voice, prevent sharing information unless it can prove that the information would cause serious or immediate harm. So third is Chavez B. Gonzalez illustrates that balancing between the privacy laws and the public right to know, while the anti-taping law is intended to protect privacy, it shows that the privacy rights may not apply when the information reveals sanctions threaten the public trust or reveal potential crimes by public officials. The court ruling suggests that the transparency and accountability can come, and in some cases, take prior over privacy concerns. Finally, the case underlines the role of the watchdog or the press in a democratic system to investigate and report the government activities without the fear of censorship. So, yan na rin yung key points ko na una. So, in conclusion, Chavez B. Gonzalez remains a landmark decision that protects the right both the media and the public. It upholds the principle that in democracy, government's power to control information is limited and the freedom of expression is a fundamental to maintaining a government and by the people. So, thank you for joining me on this video. Ayun lang ang key takeaways natin. Sabi sa inyo na nanalo si Chavez, then it suggests the watchdog position sa mga, it briefly explains pala rather the watchdog position of the press. And so ayan, that's all for my midterm exam, and see you on the next video if meron.